all of a sudden, like, we're talking, having a conversation. He goes, hey, like, I really have to pee, so, like, I'm going to go pee behind this tree.
Wait, is this first date?
Just to be clear, like, you know what? If it makes me a prude that on a fourth date, like, I don't want you to whip out your to pee behind a tree, then I'm a prude. Like, whatever.
I want to breastfeed Baby Yoda, which is
just no.
Why do we have to do this to
No.
Baby Yoda?
But some of it too is, and obviously, like, I've never breastfed anything. Your nipples get sore and cracked.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is John with the Aesir podcast, and how's everybody doing this morning? J2?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Ready to roll.
Seems like a little early for you this morning.
It's a little. I'm a morning person, but I'm also a night person, so I go off of like 4 hours of sleep. So I'm just tired all the time.
Yeah, I'm just generally grumpy all the time. I got my happy camper mug.
That's true.
Rachel, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. You know, I'm a day person, so I feel like this is when I really start to thrive, like the 10 to 6 time. And then I don't like to get up early and I don't like to stay up late. So
Let's start with Ninja.
All right. So esports is a thing that's kind of a shocker that it's as big as it is, but it's just going to grow. And I think who knows where the future of it takes. But Ninja, who has been in the news, not as much lately, but for a while back when he switched to Mixer, he was for those of you guys who don't know, streaming. He was on Twitch for a long time, made a lot of money, and then Mixer decided to take over, and he made a lot more money with them, but he's exclusive to them only. So it was a little bit more controversial because it was a new one.
So I know this might sound weird, but some of the people may not know exactly what esports is.
So
Mixer and Twitch.
So esports is professional gaming. It's also, I guess it's not even professional gaming because anybody can just upload onto Mixer or Twitch, which is streaming services, and show playing video games. Some people show it when they're in tournaments. Some people just play for fun. Some people literally play these stupid little click games, and you just watch them click their mouse for hours and hours. It's very diverse and weird. But
could you please explain to us what you thought esports was when we
when I
started
first saw
talking about
that
this?
esports, I did ask, is that what people do on the Wii? Like with the Wii tennis and stuff? Like that's what I thought an esport was. Which is awkward because apparently it's not that.
No, it's
and
not.
I thought Twitch was that guy in Ellen. So.
Twitch is the guy. Oh my god. But yeah, so Ninja was kind of in the news about his tweet about college football, which we'll throw it up here. But he said, "Why don't you read it, John?"
I'll never understand how college and NFL football teams allow kickers to just miss kicks. I feel like there has to be pools of kickers in the USA that won't miss simple kicks, or snappers that won't mess the snaps. I don't know, man. It seems so silly. Would love to have opinions.
My first thought, as somebody who doesn't really know the esport world, obviously, is it's a little hard to criticize professional athletes when, like, you play a game where you're sitting on your couch, but that's just me.
So the only thing to defend Ninja is he is an avid football player. He is a big Lions fan. He does know his stuff when it comes to football. A little bit, I mean, as much as he can, but it is a little controversial when you make a living sitting on your butt when like these guys are actually like throwing their bodies out. So I get it. I get the controversy.
I did a little digging, and then I also have like back in the day reference. So first of all, according to payouts, esports payouts on like earnings is right underneath the Wimbledon tennis tournament. And
you know, tennis players have money.
Yes.
Yeah,
and besides the NFL, it's the most viewed sport in the world.
So people just
In
watch
the U.S.
other people play video games.
Well, they also can monetize
and
it
you
too.
can like compete as well.
So
but-
for instance, Ninja is he was one of the first. I think he was the first esports player to be sponsored by Red Bull. That's a big brand. Yeah, he has but he's got all these brand deals. I mean, when he used to have, he broke the world record for biggest stream. He broke the internet when
it was him and Drake, right?
It was him and
Was
Drake.
it him and Drake
they were
that broke
playing
it?
Fortnite together. And
682,000 viewers.
No. It hit 1 million, I think.
I got
You have the
I got
numbers?
682,000.
Okay,
That's
okay.
enough.
Yeah. But even
definitely.
that's live. Think about all of the views after for people who
just
didn't watch
rewatching
that.
it.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money off of that. That was a big move for esports just in general because it kind of mixes two worlds. But so it's really interesting, and they make a lot of money. They do a lot with brand deals because with esports and streaming, I mean, it's different. Esports, professional gaming is different. Like, you can have no personality and be really good at video games. With streaming, you could be the worst player, and as long as you're fun to watch,
And people, you
then
good commentary.
because
and
there's
stuff.
some, like, Ninja's not the best Fortnite player anymore. For a while, he's still really good, but he's hands down. He wasn't even in the Fortnite World Cup this year, which was a big thing. I think the winner was a 16-year-old who won $3 million, which is crazy.
Oh my god.
But think about that. For playing you play two
Yeah.
2 days of gaming and then you win $3 million. You don't get that opportunity in the NFL, like, or anything like that. Like, there's so much more money in this. So it's an interesting thing. But yeah, to compare like what he does to the NFL, I mean, why don't you read the reply that
I'll never understand how pro Fortnite players just miss shots. I feel like there has to be pools of pro players who can just click on their heads and hit every shot with 100% accuracy. It just seems so silly. And then Ninja shot back. This is the shittiest reply ever. Fortnite requires movement, editing, building, rotating, and hitting shots. There are not positions in Fortnite. A kicker's job is literally to kick. Horrible analogy, kind of embarrassing. Yeah, this is so I remember, this is going to be years ago, before Twitch and back in the early 2000 Stone Ages, when Madden was like huge. Madden Online was huge, and there were like Madden tournaments. And I used to listen to Mike and Mike on ESPN like religiously, like every morning. And I remember them actually like making fun of these guys because they had there was even a series on ESPN. I forget what it was called, but it was like a Madden tournament, and it was like all these like middle-aged guys, and they'd like reality TV'd it up, and it was funny because they were actually like making fun of their own like show on their network, because like at one point they were like, oh yeah, it's all about the family. Like, I have to leave this tournament and go back and be with my kids. And like, Mike Golick, who's like a former player, was just like, come on, you don't even understand the sacrifices of what it's like being a professional athlete. Like, away from home, holidays, things like that. Like, your whole schedule's different. You're on a regiment. And so like, I just think it's funny how far we've come from.
well,
It used to be, and it's, by the way, esports is not a bad thing. Like,
no, it's a future.
I don't know if I would call it sports though. I would put esports in with a skill. Like, it's a skill.
I was gonna
like a
say.
I would disagree with you.
I almost feel like it leads into the question, like, not everyone could be a professional. I'm not saying everyone could be a professional gamer. Obviously they can't. But is it something you can more easily learn and acquire than being a professional athlete? A lot of that is just natural ability. Obviously you have to work hard, but not everyone is born being able to be a professional athlete. Yeah. So some of that plays into it. And a lot of, I have felt from the video game world is, yes, some people have more aptitude for it, but a lot of it is like the more practice, the more time you put into it, maybe the better you become.
Which is the same with sports.
But some people I feel like have more natural ability
But
than others.
some people can't play video games.
Bro, I'm never going to compete in the 100-meter dash.
Yeah, but
like
ever.
Some of it
I
is
never,
just some
I don't have
people
the
are.
height for
well,
it.
some people don't have the reflexes, don't have the mental. It takes a lot of mental ability to be able to play these video games, and the stress that they're under. Like, for instance, like, yeah, you're under stress. Like, yeah, for a kicker, the biggest stressful thing is going to be the Super Bowl or something like, or like different type games. Like, I get it, but I would say that it's on the level of stress and same thing, because let's say, I mean, how many viewers? There was like 1 million viewers for the World Cup for Fortnite plus.
But Drake isn't going to come through the TV and hit you like a car accident.
I get that. There's no physical.
You're not going to get
but it's
like.
all mental,
and
you're by yourself too. You have, when you're a professional athlete,
You
they
have
have
people
a whole
screaming
team.
at you though.
They have screaming, but you have a whole team backing you up.
I mean,
When
that's
you're by
professional
yourself,
sports. I mean, some like, I would say swimmers, they're on their own.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
did track, and we were kind of like, it's not really a team sport. Like, it is, but it isn't.
Track, you're on your
Cross
own.
country.
But you had the argument that esports isn't a sport. I
I think it's a
disagree.
skill.
It is a
I
skill.
think
I'd
it's
say
not
it's
a
a skill.
sport.
But so is golf.
Well, it's like, so here's another thing too, right? Like, I think people that are great chefs are craftsmen, right? They're a skill. When I say it's art, probably not. But I would say they're skilled people. Carpenters, right? That's a skill. People that work metal, whether it's by welding or blacksmith, like, that's a skill. I would put, and by the way, they're like really good skills. I'm not saying they're bad. And I would say that esports is more of a skill.
when it comes down to it, they just want to fill seats in stadiums, and that's happening. They
Yes.
sell out. Now it's
Yeah.
smaller.
Not right now.
Now these no, it's happening not as much here. In other countries, it's a lot. It's getting in the
It's
U.S.
getting more popular.
They're building $1 million facilities, which are really cool. They put on a show, which what it comes down to is just how can they
it's
put on a
becoming a
show.
new
That's the
entertainment.
NFL. That's the NBA. That's the whole thing. It's a new form of entertainment.
So speaking of weird things on the internet,
Yeah, let's move on.
Gosh.
I saw this yesterday. It was just weird how watching this whole thing happen because I was just like perusing Twitter and I was getting ready to do like a little post about The Mandalorian, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good show.
Are you caught up?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's good.
And I actually like the fact that they make me wait 6 days.
Yeah, me too.
I do because I feel like I don't know. I just
No, it throws me. I mean, I miss. I mean, obviously, I grew up watching regular TV, and I miss the. Like, it is
Waiting
nice
every
to
week.
binge everything, but like when Stranger Things came out this summer on the 4th of July, that's all I did. I didn't
Yeah.
do like I literally
No,
watched
same, my
Stranger
wife and
Things
kids, that's what they
all day
No, I
long, which was
agree.
great. But then I'm left like, oh, now I have to wait a whole nother year, which I
Right.
just spent 16 hours straight watching that, and now
Yeah.
I have to wait a whole nother year for that.
it's
Like,
been a great 5 weeks.
yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
the only thing I would just say is, can we just make all the episodes an hour because they're
What are they
awesome.
right now?
Some of them are they
They're like
vary.
30, 40 minutes.
Like the last one was 41. The one was
Yeah.
one
but
was
think about
31
how much
minutes.
they're doing.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's their production
technical-
quality is
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, I
production
know.
value,
The
like,
editing.
they really did it. Like I was nervous that it was going to be cheesy. That it was
Yeah.
they
No,
hit
it's
it.
really good.
But I also think they had $100 million budget for that,
What's Disney?
which is interesting.
I mean, they had the money to
Did you
make
see?
it good.
I know we want to get into this, but did you see? So they released the Baby Yoda merch, which is what they're calling it.
gosh,
so, right?
yeah.
They-
they're gonna
wait,
make
did they actually brand it as Baby Yoda though?
Well, for right now, it's
Yeah, 'cause we don't know
because they're
anything.
not going to give up the names.
Yeah.
So you can buy the products now. There was one on eBay last night for like $1,100.
Jeez.
What was it?
It was a plushie. But here's the best part. So I went on Amazon before I came up here, and you can order the Funko Pop
Yeah, I saw this.
Baby
Oh,
Yoda,
Baby Yoda.
for $29.95. You won't get it till May 15th.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
get out.
So here's your Christmas present, little Johnny.
Just a little picture of it.
Wow.
Here's a picture. You'll get it in March.
Yeah.
That first of all,
Baby
just,
Yoda's taking the world by storm.
oh, it's the new Tickle Me Elmo for
Well,
sure.
yeah. Let's get into it.
So
what's
so
the
as
big thing?
as I'm perusing, just doing some like searches.
no.
There's this. I want to breastfeed Baby Yoda, which is
Just no.
why do we have to do this
No.
to Baby Yoda?
And
And there were like all these like tweets about this, and it started. And then once, so apparently I wasn't the only one that was looking at this because like
well, once
no
something
joke.
trends that's weird on Twitter,
Yeah.
it just
And then
explodes.
Yeah.
And then Barstool
Black
Sports
hole.
picked it up, and then it just got like bigger.
Yeah.
And it was like people were like,
Who
"Oh yeah."
started it? Do
All-
we know?
No idea. No idea. No clue. But there's like several tweets. That one's not as weird.
Well,
I
is
mean,
he
it's
supposed to
funny.
be? I feel like
It's
Baby
funny.
Yoda looks really creepy though in that.
He does.
Like
It's
he looks like a
Yoda, but-
gremlin, almost not like he does on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Though I feel like Baby Yoda's
Oh
the
my
type of
God.
thing that's
Guy
so
Fieri.
funny.
Interesting. Yeah, Guy. It's not Fieri. It's Fieri, by the way. But
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dragons,
that's
diners, and
definitely I
dives.
could.
That's amazing. I do like the
But
yeah.
what exactly? I guess I'm getting into this article, and this is just memes about Baby
just scroll,
Yoda.
scroll to the
but,
bottom.
Okay, here we go.
breastfeed me you must. I too would like to breastfeed
And that's
Baby Yoda.
that's coming from Alex Hughes, a male who has no capacity to lactate. He would like to breastfeed Baby.
I
Yoda.
It was
just
just so weird. Like,
don't-
why do we have to?
I don't know
where
why
does this come
cuteness
from?
equals less breastfeed him.
Well, you know, at first, honest to God, when I first saw this, the first thing I checked to see if there was like some women's organization for breastfeeding, because some people feel it's taboo and it's not. But
I
like,
can't vote. This is a screenshot.
oh, dude, the votes were crazy. I actually voted on it.
What did,
How many-
what did
what
people
was
say?
it?
Oh, it was yes. I mean, why
Oh
would it
my
be no? It's
God.
the internet.
So, oh wow. I just think number one, I can understand somebody being like, I want to cuddle or like hug Baby Yoda, but
Yeah, could you maybe
And
tap
some-
into this maternal thing for a
yeah.
minute?
So, but some of it too is, and obviously, like I've never breastfed anything, but like it's not from what I have read and know, like a non-painful experience. I think a lot of people commenting are people that have not breastfed real children, because like your nipples get sore and cracked. So I don't know why that would be
Well,
like
there's a
something
bonding thing
and there's
that
the
goes with it.
bonding, but I think like
But just before you go, it looks like a lot of these are males commenting.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like I think a lot of people don't understand. Like they just think it's
weird.
funny, and
like,
I think
where does this come from?
I get the need to like it's. Maybe it's a similar type of thing to like people that call their pets like their sons or daughters.
Hold on. It says, "Can you breastfeed Baby Yoda if you got long rubber snake-like nipples?"
Asking for a friend.
What?
Asking
That's
for a friend.
so
That is
awful.
amazing.
That's hilarious.
That is amazing.
But I just think it's kind of like the people that call their pets sons or daughters. Like I think people sometimes want that maternal to protect it. Maybe like I don't understand
I don't know. There's some creeps out
I
there.
just
I
want
just
to
think
know
it's weird.
they're gonna burn Disney to the ground if Baby Yoda dies at the end of the series.
There's no
They're
way
going
they
to
do.
burn Disney to the
I
ground.
think
I heard he was 50 years old.
Well,
He is 50.
But
That's,
how old? I mean,
Did they say that in the show?
well,
Here comes the
Yoda
nerd.
was like 600 something.
Yeah,
when
Oh,
he
Yoda was
died.
900 when he died.
Yeah,
Oh, whatever. But he was old. So I mean,
I feel like before that, I feel like you need to double check that right now,
How old Yoda is?
Yes.
Or baby? Yoda is 900 years
bro.
old.
You need to. We got to get that number right.
Wait,
We're never gonna get
okay.
it.
Time
our
out.
audio
sound-
guy's looking
Sound
it up.
guy Nate, who
Sound guy Nate.
definitely would breastfeed Baby Yoda if he
Can
could.
you please look up how the official age of Baby Yoda so
I
we don't
thought
get
he-
destroyed?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda is 50. That is
It's
I'm sorry,
50.
Yoda. What-
Yoda is
Yeah, how old is
900
Yoda when he
Thank
died?
you.
900.
900 exactly.
900
all right.
years old.
This
Don't
baby's only
question me
50.
on Star Wars.
No. I listen. I just, what it'll happen if we don't.
Fact
don't-
check.
No, but I
And
think that's good.
I'm a fact checker, so I know that stuff.
Unless
Yeah.
it comes to who shoots 3 pointers.
Also, do you know about the controversy that about like the midi-chlorians and how like this could be Yoda's kid before he died? So
But
For
he would have
instance-
betrayed the Jedi code. Like you
no,
can't have
but he
kids.
didn't have sex. The whole thing is in Star Wars. There's no sex,
Right.
and
Say
how
that to Anakin and Padme.
but that's a different. But it didn't show anything.
That worked
But
out well.
but like Anakin's, we're gonna go down too far. I'll
No,
be
just
I'll
go,
be quick.
go. Just go.
Okay, so Palpatine is most likely Anakin Skywalker's dad. I've done a lot of research into this. So it's
Oh,
crazy.
man,
No,
we're
it's
gonna-
crazy. It's crazy because there's this whole thing, and like you got to go a little bit deeper into Star Wars. But there's this thing where they can use the Force in the midi-chlorians, which is around the energy
like,
and
impregnate
everything.
someone.
No, and then
I
using
think
the
I've heard of that.
Force, like it's like a Jesus thing, where like he impregnated Luke's, because she doesn't know who the dad is.
But
And
I
it's
thought
like
she
it's
was,
like
like,
one of those
sleeping
like
around.
Jerry, like who's the dad? But no, it's pretty like
Okay.
It was said that Anakin is his, like, and he talked about it. I watched a million YouTube videos,
Okay.
but most likely Palpatine is Anakin's dad. So this could be a little baby Yoda, and this could be connection with Yoda. At first, I was like, well, is it reincarnated Yoda? Like, is that one of those things? But I
Oh,
think
that's what I
if
thought.
Disney
Makes
did
sense.
that, it would be so stupid. I would
Yeah.
be so mad. But I don't know.
But why
But
can't
it's
it just be
interesting.
like a random same species? I mean,
don't
clearly
know.
this species is valuable because they live for so long and like have
Can
all
I
these
say,
powers.
Can I say this? If they didn't release this week by week, we wouldn't even be talking about this right
Agreed.
now.
That's true. I mean,
don't
I
think
do
about
like
that.
that.
No, I think I agree. They
No,
definitely
because
get
the mystery would be
they
solved.
get a
We
lot
would
of
know.
hype.
You
They
would
get a
know.
lot
I
of
mean, I
hype.
We
think
would
the
know.
Baby Yoda would still be as big as it is because
Oh, absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
think, I do think there's some. I like that Disney is going back to kind of the model of we release an episode every week, just because I think for family, it like encourages you to watch TV with families. You're not
It's a
binging
Friday
it,
night,
so like
too.
you don't feel bad the next day when you're like, oh gosh, like I just spent 6 hours of my life watching TV when I should have maybe done more productive things. Like it's something where you're like, well, who cares? It's 30, 40 minutes. We could take time to watch this as a family. I think it's super kid friendly, obviously.
It's what
And
Star Wars should have been.
Yeah.
yeah,
for sure.
and so
And this is just keeping it alive. So, I mean,
Yeah.
for instance, I was really hoping, for instance, Yoda, like there's 900 years of what we don't know what he did. I hope there's an origin story to that. Like, I don't
they're
know if
doing
this
an
is going to start
Obi-Wan
it.
potential
Well, they're doing an
origin.
Obi-Wan, but I feel like Yoda he's such
Yeah,
a
it could've
mystery.
been great.
And
Yeah.
that would be perfect.
Yoda
I don't
is super
know.
cool.
So we'll see. I mean, I think it's Disney Plus is a big thing. I mean, we have the Obi-Wan.
Well, did you
and
hear
then-
what else Disney's doing now too? Because they acquired Fox, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So
I know they have the Simpsons.
I'm a
on
little
there.
nervous about this because I felt like these new movies did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Is they are going to do another Planet of the Apes movie?
Really?
Yeah.
Are they going to
With
start
James
it over?
Franco?
No, he was
'Cause
out of the
he's
first.
kinda
No, they're
cute.
not.
I just, you know what?
There's
I
not
just
a lot of
recently,
info on it.
I just recently rewatched that,
Yeah.
and they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
They're so good.
Interesting.
I actually like them more than the
I'm
older ones.
disappointed. Oh man, I hope they don't mess it up.
That's what a lot of people are already starting to talk about.
Yeah. Well, like,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like the whole like Caesar, Yeah, it's just so good.
What
You can't beat
else
that.
is
I feel like
coming?
they need to wait a little longer because that was like 2010.
Well,
that
I
wasn't
mean,
that long ago.
think about it. They
When was
just
it?
think about it.
Is it a remake or a
They're
sequel?
finishing up Star Wars. They're finishing up Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're not going to do another one.
Wait, are they gonna
No, I thought-
actually?
oh,
wait,
well,
wait.
the people
are
from
they
Game
actually
of
gonna
Thrones
make
cut
the
out.
Planet of the Apes though? Because like
No,
this
they're-
was just prequels. This was the setup.
I
to
have
the
no
Planet of the Apes.
I do
Yeah,
not.
that's what is it a sequel or what is
Well, like
it?
the original Planet of the Apes
I
was
love that
actually
Screenrant
when it was
already
taken
because
over.
this got like reported yesterday. But Screenrant's like, don't do it. Please don't make another
Yeah, it's
Planet
a
of
bad
the Apes.
idea.
We like it
Yeah.
violent.
Well, okay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Didn't Caesar die in the last one?
I have to be fair. I did not watch the last one.
The War of the Planet of the
You're-
Apes.
No.
I think Caesar died.
I think, well,
We covered this. I really don't go to the
I don't
movies.
remember, but
I
you don't
do,
have
but
to.
I wasn't,
Oh
like
my
I had
God, it
no
was
need
so
to see
good.
that.
I mean, the best one, the first one was really good.
Monkey's
the third
scary.
one's the best with Woody Harrelson.
I
who
love
was the bad
him.
guy. You didn't see that one?
I love
No,
Woody
Oh, okay.
Harrelson
Anyways,
now.
that'll be interesting. I mean, Disney is interesting for taking over everything. I mean, they own Fox,
Everything.
ABC, ESPN. Like they're literally a
They
monopoly.
have, I
There's-
didn't know they had, like, what, World Geographic, what was it?
Comcast and Disney pretty much own most of what you watch on television.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I'm excited. I know they're having a couple Marvel series coming out. Aren't they doing like a Loki one and a Scarlet Witch one? I feel like everyone now wants to make their own separate streaming platform. Like I'd rather. I mean, hey, if Disney is everything, great. I'll pay $6.99 a month just to come to one
it's pretty
thing, as
cheap.
opposed to, you know, Warner Brothers has to have one, HBO has to have another one now, and then
Well, HBO's had one.
Yeah.
yeah,
they've
but they're
had theirs.
making a new one. They're doing HBO Max is the next edition,
Interesting.
which I'm not sure. I
That
think
sounds like it's
that's
for,
what
like-
Friends I think is going to.
I was perusing again the interwebs, and there was this really great thread on Reddit that talked about stupid things
You
that
said
you said to your significant
Yeah.
other. And
from the male perspective.
well, actually, it was from the male and female perspective.
true,
So some women were very open as to some dumb things that they've said. So I'm gonna kick it off, and then I think we can talk about some of the stupid things that we've said. I've got a million of them. So I'm gonna start it off with this. So my girlfriend showed me a picture of her from college when she was a track star. Over the last few years, we've grown more in love, and before my brain could process an intelligent response, I just blurted out, "Man, you used to be so skinny."
Ooh.
Anything with the weight is just on either side. It's just no, it's not
Yeah.
great.
That guy slept on the couch. He probably slept on his friend's couch.
Well, it was his girlfriend, so
yeah.
yeah.
They're not together anymore.
Ah.
I hope they are, but
This is another one. Woke up in the middle of the night after a particularly bad nightmare and turned over and accidentally kneed her gently and said, "Oops, I'm sorry," and then used his ex's name.
Ooh.
that's bad. I think he
Well, he
was
was having a nightmare, so maybe it was about.
his ex. In
Yeah.
fairness, I mean that you could smooth it over in that way. Like I was
I don't
having a nightmare
know.
about my ex,
At
but
least he
I
didn't
know.
say it say his ex's name in a different context. If you catch my drift.
Well, at least
Or
there's a
when
way
you-
out of that one.
Yeah.
There's a way out. There's a way out of that one. No, the way out of that one is no. I just had a nightmare about her, and you're so good to me, and I just said her name because I was in a dead sleep.
oh, I thought you were talking about the other context. I'm like, I don't think you can
no,
get
that's
out
how
of
I'm.
that.
That's how I'm bailing on that one.
Okay.
I'm bailing.
I think you can be like, I was having a nightmare. And maybe, I mean, it depends how hard, like, of a sleeper your wife
Honestly,
or
that's
significant
not that
other
bad.
is, because maybe they didn't even hear it.
I think it depends on who
Honestly,
your
it's not that
significant other
bad.
is.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right,
I give that guy's got the clear.
Yeah, the
All
fat
right.
thing was worse.
Yeah.
J2. Something stupid you said to your significant other.
So this goes back to relation. This is a high school relationship, so it's not as big. But I remember she talked about. I didn't say anything, but how I reacted to her saying that. She talked about wanting to get married, and my
Ooh.
initial reaction
In high
was a
school.
laugh. I'm not kidding you. I just started laughing because I honestly thought she was joking.
Well, what age of high school was, like,
This
not
is
that makes
18. This is like end of.
It's way worse. Like, I don't know, like, that's really bad if you're already in high school,
But
but
I
I just
wasn't
wanted
trying
to
to
know,
be.
like,
I wasn't trying
you're
to
a
be an
freshman.
ass. I literally just laughed. So that was the worst thing I said to my significant
you-
other because I didn't need to talk. It's just that I laughed.
Was she just like, hey, when we get married sometime?
I don't even remember. I just thought it was a joke, and because that's not where my head was, and yeah, I definitely got some. That was hard to recover from. That's
All right.
all I'll say.
Look, you could just tell from the beginning this is going to go wrong, okay? One of my first girlfriends in high school was a bit on the chunky side, but in a good way. However, over the course of our relationship, she definitely put on some pounds. So one day she goes shopping with her parents and sends me pictures of her in different bathing suits and asks which one she should get. So she's been trying on one pieces and then decides to try on a bikini, which she's never worn before because she's been uncomfortable with how she looks. She asked me what I thought, and without thinking, I said, well, I don't think bikinis were made for fat women, to be honest, but you don't look bad. As to be expected, she didn't text me for 3 days and then dumped me. To be fair, I was 15.
Oh, okay. Well, I do feel better that he was
Okay.
younger. I was afraid this was like a 40-year-old man to
That's
his
not
wife.
that bad. 15-year-olds are stupid. I broke up with a girlfriend when I was 15 because I didn't want to buy her a birthday present. Like, that's the reality of
Why
that.
did you want to buy her a birthday present? That's like cold.
Because I don't know.
That's a real thing. Like people.
I broke up with her. I didn't want to buy her. I didn't know what to
called,
get
I
her, so I
think,
broke up with her instead.
Grinching or something. It's like a term where people break up with significant others right before Christmas because they don't want to spend money on a gift.
I fell victim to that. I was the Grinch.
But
I've never heard of these things, but continue. Tell me more.
I had an instance one time where I was on a date with a guy who we went bowling, and I think bowling's really awful for dates because no one looks cute bowling. It's just, you don't look cute. And we are like picking out like bowling balls, and he's like, I need a 6-pound ball. And I laughed out loud and was like, like, you're joking, right? He was not joking. He went up front because like
I think you were better off then.
I was definitely, but he went up front because you have to ask like the people behind the desk for a 6-pound ball because it's for children. And for the record, like you can see my arms on this. I don't have a ton of strength. I was using an 8-pound ball just to like
Quick question.
clarify.
Do you have like shoulder surgery or anything?
No, like I think you would have to clarify. Like with the 6 pounds, you have if you're like, hey, I know I look like a weakling, but like I have had shoulder surgery, but
Right.
you wouldn't have suggested it to go
But
bowling.
then bowling would not be something.
Yeah,
if
like you wouldn't be like, we should go bowling. So
At least he didn't use one of those like rollers, like the kid roller thing. Or
No.
did he ask? Did he have the bumpers up? That's the real question.
he didn't have the bumpers up. Well, but then
Okay, so continue. So tell.
yeah, so basically I laughed and was like, are you joking? He was like, no, I really need a 6-pound ball. And I was like, okay, which I don't even know. He said my fingers are going to be too big for the others. These are my fingers.
He's got petite fingers.
Like I mean, he was definitely like a smaller guy, obviously, but that I really was like, yeah, I'm not a big person, but if I can throw a bowling ball that has more weight than you, like, no, that's going to be no.
So that's a no on the Rachel side.
No, don't take girls bowling unless you've actually been dating them for a while because no one's cute. Unless you want to stare at their butt, then like I guess maybe.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
So
I mean,
I actually have a most recent stupid thing that I said.
oh, do tell.
Oh, this was epic. So you guys know we adopted our youngest daughter.
Yeah,
Okay, and so we hadn't really
told her.
told her yet because we were just waiting for her, because she still has contact with.
She's younger too, to clarify. Like she's not like 18.
No, she's like 7 years old. So we hadn't told her yet. We were just waiting for the right time.
Yeah.
And she has contact with, like her half sister and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is super cool. Like we really encourage all that stuff, but we were just basically gonna like let it organically kind of just happen.
Her ask, yeah.
Yeah, have it just organically happen. So we had friends over, and we're sitting at the table talking. We're having a discussion, and we were just talking about like life events and things like that. And she was at the table. I forget what she was doing. I think she was eating like peach cobbler or something.
Yeah.
'Cause we were having dessert, and so I was like, yeah, and when we adopted Riley,
Oh,
and I went, oh no, I went, oh no,
did she notice?
oh yeah, and my wife looks at me and goes, you are an idiot.
Oh my.
And then she didn't like Riley didn't know what to do, and she just like looks at me and goes downstairs to the basement and goes downstairs into the basement to play, and I was like, oh, Dad, fail.
Oh,
And so, and then our friends were like, yeah, it's time to go. We'll see you
really?
later. So it all worked out.
So now she knows.
Yeah, well, it worked out great because we were there when she was born. And
Yeah.
so like we had video, and Lauren fed her first, so like we had the video of that, and we showed her the video.
Yeah.
And then we had her coming home when we got home, and then we
Yeah.
had the video of like when it
Just, like,
became
yeah.
legally official. So like we had, thank God I took video.
Yeah.
Like you had all of that like to show like
yeah, I mean instantly boom, DVD went in the DVD player. Like, hey honey, here. And the only thing that she was worried about was she thought she was gonna have to leave. And so then we were like, once you realized she didn't have to leave, and kids are good. Like 24 hours we were in good shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my epic fail. That's my most recent epic fail. There are other ones. I just can't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we've got plenty more podcasts to go over that.
Well, I want to get. You
I've
have
done
an
my-
interesting date
Oh
story.
gosh, yeah.
Are we getting into that because I might win?
I don't know.
Mine, I've
then
heard
we'll go
worse, but
ahead.
mine is pretty bad. So I went out with a guy, like, this was almost a year ago. It's been almost a year. But anyways, I was going out with him, and we went and we were, like, walking around this park. And it was a public park. Like, I just want that to be clear for the story. So we're walking around, blah, blah.
Is
like,
there
it's
not
great.
public parks?
No. It will make sense. So we're
Okay.
all of a sudden, like, we're talking, having a conversation. He goes, hey, like, I really have to pee, so, like, I'm going to go pee behind this tree.
Wait, is this first date?
No, it's, like, the fourth date.
Oh,
No, it's okay, anyways, it had snowed. Like, it was literally snow outside. And so I'm like, okay. And, like, just to be clear, like, you know what? If it makes me a prude that on a fourth date, like, I don't want you to whip out your to pee behind a tree, then I'm a prude. Like, whatever. But
I mean,
like,
at least he was comfortable with you.
I guess, but it was super weird because, like, a public park, he could have, like, literally been arrested. Like, I think that's public indecency.
it is.
Anyways,
It's public urination.
and also, like, we couldn't walk around the park again because I didn't want to see the spot where, like, his pee was. And then, so anyways.
What time of day was it? Was it light out? Was it dark out?
Yeah, it was like 2 p.m.
Oh.
And I have talked to some of my guy friends, and they were like, listen, like, he didn't have to go that badly. Like, he could have been like, hey, I need to go to a gas station. Like, we went to a cafe afterwards. And he, like, yeah. So I don't know why he felt the need. Like, we weren't in the woods. If we were, like, in the woods hiking, I can get,
I feel it's perfectly.
But, like,
okay
in
with
a-
He's marking his territory.
whatever. But yeah, we went to a cafe afterwards, and he didn't wash his hands when he went in. And so I was like, it's fine. I guess
Yeah.
we're...
So did you hold hands after he?
No, like I was very much.
You didn't like whip out the hand
That's a
sanitizer?
fifth date thing for Rachel.
Is it?
Holding
hands in my pockets first. Like I was like, and they're it. Like, do not touch me with like the hand you just peed on or whatever. So
I mean, you can. Never mind.
You don't need your hands to pee, especially outside.
well, that's good to know.
It
But
depends on which way the wind's blowing.
It's true.
Yeah.
that was
2
weird.
p.m. in a pub. Did he at least go deep into the woods?
No,
Where was the park?
the park was in. Well,
Is it
I don't
like
know
is
if we
this
should
in an
give a
urban?
location.
No, but is it in like
Curious.
an urban area or is
Yes,
it?
there were like houses around it.
Oh yeah.
Like there were literally houses around it.
I'm the kind of I would do that. Real talk. I would pee with the bathroom door open third date, but that's just me.
All right, close this out. Go ahead. Tell us
Close
your
it out.
story. Yeah,
Okay,
close it out.
so I'll close it out with this one.
Better be
worst
good.
first date. Maybe this is it. Well,
I think I've heard this one.
this is the park car story. You
Oh,
probably,
gosh,
I can't
it's
believe you've
so
never heard it.
bad.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you definitely win.
That's
So
a good
I win the
one.
worst first date. So I had met this girl at a bar before. We hung out, and then I asked her on a date. And I go to pick her up, and I'm driving trying to find her house. And context, I just got a brand new phone with a big screen, so I wasn't used to it. Not an excuse, but I'm driving, holding,
Trying to find
looking.
her place.
I'm literally going 5 miles an hour. 5 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden, I just hear, and it sounded like I hit a car going 40 miles an hour. Like I'm not, like 60 miles an hour. And right smack dab in front of her house, I hit a parked car. It was a truck. And let me give you context of this truck. It had a Dale Earnhardt Jr. sticker, it had Mountain Dew cans in the back, and it said Marine Veteran.
Nice.
So I'm like,
Boy,
I
you
just
picked the
hit
right one.
the wrong car.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
Absolutely
gonna die
the wrong
tonight.
car. So I get out, like the front of my car's pretty banged up, and his car literally,
5
I didn't
miles
see
an
anything.
hour, folks.
At 5 miles an hour. Now I had a Pilot, and it was like plastic front, so whatever. His little shitty Tacoma, which it was, it held up. So choose that over that. But I get out of the car, and she sees that. She's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm so drunk right now." Like I made a joke.
Way to
That was
say.
my
Way
humor to
to
get
say.
past that. And she just looks at me. She's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "No." And the whole time, like she just like I can see her looking at me to like even after I said I'm joking, like to see like that was the
shit, too.
wrong thing to
Well,
say.
you know, she told all her friends about that.
Oh,
later. She was like,
absolutely.
this
So there
guy?
wasn't. Did you guys go on a date?
So yeah. So I
So
ended up
you got her in
saying
the car- in
I
your
looked
busted
at I
car?
looked at my car and I was like, it's fine. This is dark. The movie was like at 10, so like it's dark outside. So I get in. I was like, let's just go to the movie. This guy's not going anywhere. So I guess I technically did a hit and run. Sorry, I guess I'm
Dale
claiming to
Earnhardt
that.
Jr.
So we go see the movie and get back, and I look, and his car like it doesn't even line up that well, but I just did. Like I didn't think that the bang, like it was like a little dent, like a
Yeah,
dime-sized
like,
dent
yeah.
on the and I don't know if it was me. Anyways, I ended up having her
Write a
note because I figured a girl's handwriting was going to be way better than my
That's
chicken
true.
scratch. And we put it on his windshield, and I gave him my number. I was like, anything, like, we'll settle this. I can just pay for a new bumper.
Right.
I never heard anything back.
Well, good.
I think
So-
it's definitely.
Was there a second date?
There was not a second date. Yeah.
At least she wasn't in the car.
No.
Or her car?
It wasn't
Ooh, her car.
Or
could've
her
been
car.
worse,
Yeah.
especially
But
if you
Which
were like, I'm drunk.
Which, by the way, you were like batting 500 there. Might as well
Yeah,
go for
yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys. Have a good
Bye,
one.
see ya.